Now this is a good-looking group tonight, but unlike movies or a concert, we have a wide variety of ages. We have people in their 20s, we might even have people in their 50s, at least maybe even 60s. And I don't have a joke for both groups at the same time. I don't. I don't have a joke where like Hannah Montana meets up with Matlock and they solve a crime. Wouldn't it be a great joke though? It would. But I'm going to bring you together, that's what I'm about. Now, I'm going to do a little ageist for a second. I'm going to focus on some of the younger faces, because I like to look into your eyes, because you still have stuff like hope and optimism for the future. Isn't that hilarious? That's in the rearview mirror for me. Here's my cautionary tale, younger people. I always said I would have one child, because I'm very self-absorbed, but I wanted to enjoy the parental experience. Okay, it took 6 years, in vitro fertilization, but my wife and I had the love of my life, my beautiful daughter, Madeline. I could not be crazier about her. But as she developed, we discovered that she had autism, so we were like, we're being selfish, we should have another child so someone will be there to look after her after we pass away. So we went back to the drawing board, and the drawing board stared back at us and went, hey, screw you, you're gonna have twins. That's what the drawing board said. Thank you for not laughing, that is not funny at all. I was 40 years old one day looking at twins. That is too old. Thank God my wife is 19. Thank God for that. She's not. I can't score 19. My wife is 39, but I consider her a trophy wife. I do, yeah. 9th place. And yeah, I hear that. I lose a gender on that joke. Yeah, what? You guys are like, finally. No, actually, a woman last night was pissed. She came up to me. She's like, you better watch it, buddy. Your wife finds out about that joke. You're not going to get any sex. I'm like, thanks for your concern there, Buttercup, but you need to pay a little closer attention. I have baby twins. I get no sex. I promise you that. Truthfully, the only way my wife were anything sexy for me at this point is if the Snuggie blanket people came out with a fleece teddy. That is it. Or as I call that product, the sweaty crack. That's not a good product. Yeah, no one wants that. They don't. Of course not. Not a good product. I do love my twins, though. I call them the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. Good individually, suck as a team. That's how they are. Life has really not turned out the way I thought it would, you know. You do your best, though. My wife the other day was like, you know what? I've been changing our son Sam's diaper for the last couple weeks, and every time I do it, he gets a little baby boner. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Don't be so impressed. I'm just going to tell you a fact. If you were to take a Cool Wipe to my balls and then spread my ass with cream, I would be sporting major wood too. Actually, why don't we role play that shit right now? She is so not into it. That's what I'm saying. Do something for me. Since I'm not getting any sex, a friend of mine's like, you need to stir things up. You need to spice it up. He's like, you should go to a strip club with your wife. I'm like, she's not going to go for that. He's like, ask her. So I did, and she's like, I've never been. Sure, we'll go once. So we get there. I'm like, I'm all excited. This did not turn out well. She did not like it there. Right off the bat, she's bitching. She's like, ooh, look at that girl with the 5-inch heels. Can you imagine the corns on her feet at the end of the night? Then I'm looking at this woman sliding down a pole. I'm like, yeah, look at that. She's like, ooh, gross. Could you imagine all the disease racing around her thighs? I'm like, shut up! Are you trying to wreck everything that's holy to me? Here, put $1 in your mouth and do something worthwhile. I said, some of you might not think this is fair. You're like, well, what about her? You know, and I'm like, and she is like the greatest mom, like the world-class mom. And what I've discovered is I did not want to marry a world-class mom. I just wanted a good mom. That's all I wanted. I wanted a mom, a woman that would be like into me a little bit too, you know, like at least, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes a day. She might strap our kids into their car seats, you know, and then spend some time with me. I mean, don't get me wrong, we would crack the windows. We're good parents, but... Oh, yeah, you're right. This is a good job, though. That's the thing that kind of makes up for it. I make good money. I travel across the country. Negative thing is, though, I don't have health insurance. But my wife had a good job, so that wasn't a problem. She had a good job until she came home a few months back and says, you remember how I told you I really didn't like my boss? I'm like, yeah. Well, I quit my job today. I'm like, oh, what are we going to do for health insurance? She's like, well, I think you ought to quit. You're like, stop right there. I will do what is right for this family. So I left the room, I showered, I shaved, I put on a beautiful suit, and I went out to look for a new wife, because I will do what's right for my children. You can't stop me. I think marriage is, I think it's kind of past its purpose at this point. And let me explain myself. Okay. 1800s, marriage was a great idea. It worked completely because people would marry when they were like 20 and they would die when they were 45. It was a good 25 years. No one really had any problems. I met my wife when I was 21 years old. I could be with her for 70 years. That is not good for anybody. It's not good for her. It's not good for me. And I'm just going to make a confession right now. Someday, I will kill her. I promise you that. You know what will probably keep me from doing it? She'll kill me first. That is probably a fact. And it's not big arguments. If you've been with somebody for more than a decade, you're going to be divorced if it's all about big arguments. It's usually little things, just constant eating away at you. I know what's going to happen. The day I decide to kill her, I'll be about 82 years old. We'll be sitting in some nursing home. We're watching TV. She starts yapping, and I finally snap. I'm like, you know what? I've been listening to this for 62 years. It's Reese's peanut butter cups, not Reese's. It's not Reese's Pieces. We're not watching a movie with Reese Witherspoon. Get it through your head, damn it, woman. So, I used to be the cool guy, you know, I used to have the Netflix and stuff like that, you know, I'd watch all the documentaries. You know what's in my queue now? Caillou, that's what's in my queue. If you're not familiar who Caillou is, he's a 4-year-old French-Canadian albino kid who whines his every moment of his life. No, you know what? I used to go to all the concerts. Bonnaroo, Coachella, Lollapalooza. You know the last concert I went to? The Wiggles. That's the concert I went to. Do you know who the Wiggles are? Well, they're 4 Australian guys who dress like they're on Star Trek, but they're the village people from their actions. Do I relate to them? No, I don't. And here's the topper. I had a sports car. You know what car I have now? I traded it in for a minivan. My life is ended as it is going now. But this is top of the line minivan. It's called the Honda Emasculator, and it's a beautiful ride. It's got a special feature. Every time I go into the driver's seat, a hand gently caresses my man parts. Well, what happens then? Scott removes them and puts them in the glove compartment. Well, why would that be? Because they are no use when you're the pilot of this dream-killing machine. What's happened to me? Sad.